industry? We are in search of Jan Kuhneman, the founder and guitar player in this band. She works at a company just up here. We're on our way over to ask her, will she reunite with her former bandmates for a one-time only special performance? Hi, Jan. Jan Kuhneman. Hi, I'm Amir from a show called Bands Reunited. Do you remember these gals?
No.
Yeah, you do.
What is this?
I'm here on a mission to reunite the members of Vixen for a one-time only special performance. And we have come here to start that mission, to ask you to sign on board. And I ask you, are you willing to reunite with your former bandmates?
Is this for real?
This is for real. This is a VH1 show. We're happening. We're rolling. Yeah. So, are you in?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in. She's in. All right. When someone says that they're in, they seal the deal with an autograph on the album. So it says, I'm in. Jan's on board. Yeah. Thank you so much. Now tell me, how does a young woman from Minneapolis wind up in form a band called Vixen? Tell me about that.
My best girlfriend and I, it was just the two of us, just guitars and us singing.
Oh, wow.
No drums, no bass. We knew we needed drums and bass, so we started looking for other people to join a group with us.
Now, did it matter if the rest of your band were women?
It's just kind of a thought, like, well, we could have it all female.
Did you actually think that you would make the jump, if you will, to becoming professional musicians, or was it still strictly a hobby for you?
No, we had big dreams. We knew we wanted to make it.
Eventually it was you, Cher, Roxy, and Jan. That became the quintessential lineup.
Yes.
What was it like for the four of you now to try to make it, and I'm sorry for using this phrase, in a man's world, especially with the type of music that you made, very aggressive, very masculine.
We didn't really think about the difference of us being female and the other guy, male bands, but we were just determined that we wanted to do what they were doing.
People would come up to us and they'd say, well, halfway through the show, they forgot that they were watching a female band. They were just having a good time.
Tell me about the image of the band. Did you guys just say, okay, this is how we are and this is how we look, or was it a bit more
contrived?
No, I don't want to say the word contrived, but maybe a bit more thought went into, all right, maybe you should do your hair like that, or maybe you should wear this, and maybe you should...
Not really a whole lot of planning on the clothing. What we were wearing was stuff that we really liked. We were just girls doing our hair and doing our makeup.
There were a lot of guy bands out there that had as much...
Right.
Guys in bands who had as much makeup on and probably as much product in their hair as well, right?
So we were thinking, no, what are they doing? This is normal for us.
I remember reading that one of your most memorable gigs was Milton Keynes in England, 66,000 people with Bon Jovi and Skid Row. Tell me about that.
Wow. That was the biggest crowd we ever played for. You go out on stage and there's people as far as you can possibly see outdoors, and it's just amazing. I kept thinking the whole time, how could I have a better job than this?
I've read many descriptions of how, I guess, Vixen post-1991 turned out. It was either a breakup or hiatus. How do you view it?
It was a breakup.
And how did that breakup come about?
Oh, painfully. I think everybody was a little frustrated that the second record didn't go gold like the first.
But why did that tear the four of you apart? It's one thing to have that happening externally, but what was going on internally that caused you guys to go your separate ways?
I just don't know if I should bring this up or not. But
whatever you feel comfortable saying, Jan, honestly.
Well, honestly, I guess there was some talk of getting me out of the band.
Really?
Yeah. And I said, no. No, I don't like that.
It's your band.
For me.
I mean, yeah.
And talk of, maybe bringing in another guitar player to play my parts and stuff. And I said, I don't like that either. I honestly had the fear that if they brought someone else in, obviously she blows me away, then what are they going to need me for? And I'm thinking, well, I might, be asked to leave or something.
Now, 8 years later, Roxy and Janet released what amounted to be the third Vixen album called Tangerine.
Right.
How did that come about?
Nobody had called me or mentioned anything to me, and I'm like, that's interesting. So
July of 98 rolls around and you basically sued them for copyright infringement, right?
Yeah. The four of us at the time still all owned the name, and I just didn't think it was right that no one had mentioned it to me or asked permission to sign off on or asked me to be included or anything. It just felt wrong to me.
Do you remember the last gig you guys played together, the four of you?
I believe it was with Deep Purple in Europe.
Do you remember when that was?
91.
All right, so well over 10 years ago. Just to wrap up, do you know what Cher's up to these days and how I could find her?
I believe Cher is with her band Bubble.
Around here? Or?
I believe she's still in California.
I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. You're looking forward to this then?
Yes, yeah. I still think I'm dreaming.
Well, Janza, yes. Pucker. Let's hope our band's Reunited bloodhounds can sniff out the rest of these heavy metal foxes. So our quest to reunite the members of Vixen continues in Los Angeles to find the hard-rocking bassist Cher Ross.
Unprecedented moment here on Bands Reunited. We're going to the Stitch Cafe, a knitting club, to find Cher, the bass player for Vixen. She loves to knit, and she meets every Tuesday with her knitting club. It's crazy.
Do it now.
Oh my gosh, it's locked. She's in the back, in the back. Hi. Hi, I'm from VH1. We're looking for Cher Ross. Hi, Cher. Hi, my name's Amir.
And you're gonna be sorry, baby, when it's over.
I'm from a show called Bands Reunited, and you know what's going on. We've been sent on this very, very important mission to reunite you with your former bandmates in Vixen for a one-night-only special performance. Would you like to reunite with your former bandmates in Vixen?
I don't know. Do you think this lighting makes me look fat?
No, you look beautiful. You look beautiful in this lighting.
Can I consult, my knitting gurus or anything?
I think your knitting gurus, look at their expressions. It says it right there. One night only, special performance. Are you in?
All right, I'm in.
She's in! That's awesome. May I have your autograph, please, to seal the deal? All right.
Yes.
She's in. Welcome aboard.
Thanks, Amir.
Well, I wanted to thank you for sitting down with us on a very important night for you. This is Knit Night,
Yeah,
right?
you guys have interrupted my knitting.
So when you're not knitting, when you're not designing websites, you're also in this band, Bubble.
And my husband and I do a lot of things artistically together. And we started Bubble as just sort of, I guess, a bit of a lark.
Put your finger in the bed, make it look like you wanna cry.
So how did you meet Jan Kuhneman?
No, she just happened into a club that I was playing bass for somebody. And she walked up to me afterwards and said, I have this band called Vixen, and you're really good, and here's my name and my number if you ever want to, check my band out.
Right.
And I just kind of, girl band, give me a break. And I put it in my bag, and I just sort of acted all macho or whatever. Probably 6 months later, I was emptying out the bag, and her number came tumbling out. So I picked up the phone, called her, and she said, it's really weird that you called me right now because we just fired our bass player.
How difficult was it for you to really go out there and prove that you weren't a gimmicky girl band?
The funniest one I ever heard was when we went on the Arsenio Hall show.
How much love is it gonna take to prove I'm not enough?
And that was live. That was Arsenio's big thing. You've got to be live. You've got to be live. There are no tapes. You've got to be real. And and everybody said that we were too good. It sounded like it was canned.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you remember the most from your time on the road?
The very first time we toured Europe, going out with the Scorpions, and it was the first time we'd played, massive, huge arenas. The first time I think any of us had done that.
Your manager, what was his vision?
Vision or view of Vixen?
He definitely had a plan. And we certainly went along with it, of bringing in all these outside songwriters. And so you end up with, an album that sold a lot, but as a band, did it represent the band that I joined? In my opinion, no, it didn't. I felt like a cog in a huge machine. And whenever I sort of piped up, I felt sort of stupid, like kind of going, I don't think this is right, and everybody's going, yeah, but everything's going really good. And
It's hard to argue with success, I guess. That would be their position,
definitely,
right?
definitely.
There was also something else going on with the four of you. Essentially, it became a 2-2 split. Right. You and Janet, and Roxy and Jan.
It came about largely due to just, in any situation, you gravitate more to one person than you do to everybody. And that just sort of happened on a writing level, on a songwriting level. The writing is so much easier now because we know each other so well, it's easy to trust each other.
There was also something else I heard about how you and Janet probably thought that maybe Jan wasn't the best guitar player for Vixen any longer. Is there any truth to that?
I think we were just sort of sick of, trying to get songs within the band, and Jan and Roxy were going to outside songwriters all the time to write with, and I was just really adamantly against that. We should have been focused on, let's keep the writing in the band, no outside songwriters at all. We don't need it. Why are we doing that? That's just... And to me, that was a crucial thing, and I guess that was where it sort of began and ended, because we didn't agree on that.
I remember reading something about your comment on Jan's leadership, that she was such a nice person, that maybe you needed a stronger figure to sort of take the band through what was becoming a very dark time.
I think her original vision was very true to herself, which was this band that wrote songs, played together, hung out together, and was a band. Mm-hmm. And then she let that vision be changed, as did the rest of us. But I think at any given moment, if she would have just put her foot down and said, no, you know what, this isn't cool. We need to stick to what Vixen has originally been from the very beginning, which was a band that does what bands do. You write songs, that's what you do. There's no question to that. And so I think, yeah, she was too easily swayed by outside opinion. And it just seemed like the whole era was over anyway, and it was just time to call it a day.
Is it safe to say you're looking forward to this reunion?
It would be weird for me to play these songs again as Vixen. And I've just gotten to a point where I don't want to play music I didn't write, and I'm not the singer, and I'm not the guitar player. So see what a big deal. See what a pot you've started. This better be worth it.
Kushti, Cher has signed up, but will ego and bad blood taint the reunion? When Bands Reunited comes back, drummer Roxy Petrucci gives it to us straight up.
I should have just said, let's get this together.
Will Janet's hibernation from music put the kibosh on our reunion?
I don't know if I can sing. I haven't been singing at all.
Welcome back, music lovers, as our mission continues in a place called Germantown, Wisconsin, for Vixen's stick girl, Roxy Petrucci. Our plan is devilishly simple. Roxy's gaff is up for sale, so we've enlisted one of our mates to pose as a potential buyer.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
All right, we're on our way over to Roxy Petrucci's house. Our people are inside, but I heard about a dog, which doesn't thrill me. Let's have some fun. Hi. Is Roxy here? She's in the backyard. Oh, cool. Hi. Roxy?
Yeah.
Roxy Petrucci?
Oh, no.
Hi.
I know who you are.
Hi, my name's Amir.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Yes, I will do a Vixen reunion.
Wow. Wow, that's never happened.
I watch VH1. I know what's going on.
That's never happened where I didn't even have to utter a word.
I can't believe you guys are coming on the day where we're showing your home.
I'll tell you about him in a second. That's my friend Julio.
Oh, no. I was set up.
A little bit, yeah.
I set up. Well,
yeah, can we go inside? You want to go inside? Let's go inside as it's coming down. So.
It's for real. That is too cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally into it.
All right, so you know what you have to do, right?
Yeah.
Get a sign on board. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Roxy Petrucci is in.
Roxy is definitely one of the most free spirits and just wild and unpredictable and fun. And
So give us an idea of what you're doing these days.
A lot of playing with myself here.
Excuse me?
I play with myself a lot here. On my drums.
Oh.
No, I still play. I play. I work out at the gym, and I volunteer at an animal shelter.
You came from a musical family,
Yes.
right?
And I played accordion, too. Not too many people know that.
And clarinet.
And clarinet.
That's how you started out.
Yeah.
Right.
And then my sister Maxine said, you know, we got to start a rock band. And clarinet isn't going to get it. So you could play bass or drums. I was into the drums, so I said, I'll play drums. And then it just ballooned from there.
And this band was Madam X, correct?
Madam X. We built a following, and we were like the band. In every city we went, we were the band, and just toured our asses off.
Tell us about how you became associated with Vixen. How did that come about?
They came to see me. We were opening for Lita Ford at the country club.
Right.
And Janet had called my management company and said, you know, is there any way we can get that drummer? And he said, no, I don't think so, not this time. But when she heard the band split up, she called me right away. So I flew to LA and jammed with them, and it clicked.
I wanted to ask you about how tough it was for you guys to get signed, and how hard did you guys have to work to make that happen?
We had to play whenever we could play, showcasing for the record companies. They found every excuse not to sign us. They just didn't take it seriously. So we just moved on, kept going.
When it came time to record Rev It Up, your follow-up to your Gold album, was everybody keeping it together?
For the beginning of Rev It Up, yeah, because we had just gotten off the road. So we were tight. Our heads were all in the same place. So as we started writing, then it started to... Some of the writing was going off into a different direction, others in another, but we managed to pull it together.
What do you mean by going off in a different direction?
Well, I think Janet and Cher started writing together, and me and Jan kind of started writing together. Then you could tell there was a little bit of direction change going on there.
From what I understand, Cher went as far as wanting to have Jan out of the band as a guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you remember it too?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't imagine how difficult it would have been for Jan to hear that, considering she founded the band.
I know. Well, I was torn too. Because I'm really good friends with Jan, and I think I may have said, well, let's add another guitar player, or let's figure out how we can make this work.
She would try and get me to see maybe a little bit of their side and say, well, maybe it could work to have, a couple of guitar players.
I just know that when they actually were telling her, I had my sunglasses on and my eyes were all watery, and I couldn't even look at Jan. I was just looking down going, can't believe this is happening. So I was being a wimp.
When was the last time you guys were in the same room together, the four of you?
92.
So it'll be really...
That should be interesting.
Yeah.
Roxy's right up for it. Hopefully she can drum up support for the last Vixen on our list. From Wisconsin to Connecticut, we've come to find Janet Gardner for the final piece of the Vixen jigsaw.
Now, we've enlisted the help of Roxy Petrucci, who's arranged a fake lunch meeting with Janet at a nearby inn. Well, the lunch meeting is with us. White shirt, she's inside. Is she inside? Go. Hi, Janet. Janet, hi.
Give it all you got. Rev it up.
My name's Amir from VH1.
I don't believe it. I hate you.
No, you don't. You love me. How are you? Nice to see you.
I'm going to kill Roxy.
No, you're not. You're going to love her.
I'm going to kill her.
So you know what this is all about? You know what we're here for? We are on a mission to reunite the members of Vixen. We want to put you in the same room and then, most importantly, get you back on stage for a one-night-only special performance in front of your fans. What do you say? Are you in?
Who have you talked to? Have you talked to anybody else?
If you sign this, if you agree to this reunion, then we have a complete Vixen lineup ready to go.
Are you serious?
Uh-huh.
Cher will do this?
Mm-hmm.
Jan will do this?
Mm-hmm. Roxy will do this? What do you think? What do you say? Are you in? That's good.
All right,
Winner, the winner.
I'll go.
She's in!
I signed on the dotted line.
She did. Janet Gardner's in, ladies and gentlemen. Yay! We have a Vixen reunion ready to go.
Roxy, I'm going to kill you.
Janet, chameleon. She just kind of adapts to her environment. She's got a lot of personalities.
So, I've gotten a little more used to the idea now.
You have?
Yes, a little bit.
Because you seemed somewhat resistant right off the top.
Well, yeah, I mean, my life has gone in a completely different direction, and, all of a sudden to go, hey, you want to get up there and do your thing? No. No, I only sing for my son these days.
Tell us about your life these days.
Well, my son just turned a year old. He keeps me very busy,
Right.
And my husband. And I'm going to school.
You're studying to be a dental technician or a hygienist?
Dental hygienist.
Hygienist. Now, this is going to be a strange question, but how does it compare to your life, your other life as a rock and roll star?
It's totally different. I love being a mom. I absolutely am wild and crazy about my son. That's very satisfying to me. But, I miss singing. I miss music. I miss the creative part of it a lot.
Music is feelings and passion and art and everyone has that. Girls have it too. Why would it be any different?
What kind of adjustment did you have to make as a singer to fit in with this band?
We didn't know what style of music we were going to do. They were doing very, kind of go-go's-ish kind of stuff.
You're kidding me.
No. At the time, I was really into Hart and Pat Benatar, and that's kind of what I did. So some of the material that they had before was really not me.
The benefit of having a manager who also managed a guy like Richard Marx is that you got a song from him, right?
Absolutely,
He got together with Fee Waybill and wrote Edge of a Broken Heart. Eventually came down to a point where it was yourself and Cher, and you really wanted to take the band in a different direction. And what I'm referring to is a meeting that took place in a restaurant with the four of you. And it was at that venue that you wanted to tell Jan that you wanted another guitar player.
Wow, boy, have I blocked that out. Holy cow. I really did. Yeah, ooh, You're gonna make me cry now. Yeah, it was a tough time because Cher and I had been writing, and we had really started to get something going that was a lot more rootsy and a lot more sort of just what we were feeling at the time. We just wanted to add another guitar player. It didn't go over very well. The idea did not.
What happened after that, dude?
We just kind of stopped working together.
Right. And eventually you and Roxy got together, right, for what amounted to the third Vixen album.
Yeah, Roxy called me. What are you doing? I said, absolutely nothing. She said, well, I'm working with this girl on Long Island. She's an amazing guitar player. She's a great writer. I think you would really like to work with her. So I met her, and we instantly got along.
Did you guys reach out to Cher and to Jan to join the new project?
Of course. Yeah. Cher wasn't interested. We called Jan, and she wasn't interested because I wouldn't do it without my partner, Gina.
We actually called Jan to see if she wanted to be the second guitar player. They'd trade off leads, but she wasn't interested.
The album came out in 1998.
Yep.
Right. July of that year, you heard from Jan. Probably not in a way that you wanted to. She decided to sue you guys for going out with that name.
I find out those guys are doing a new Vixen record, and nobody had called me or mentioned anything to me. It just felt wrong to me.
She said, you're not using the name if I'm not going to be in the band. And we said, well, yes, we are. And we went out and did it, and she didn't like it.
Tell me a little bit about that.
I got a big fat packet in the mail that, this lawsuit had been filed. I was mad because we begged her to do it.
Right.
It's not like we just left her out. We begged her to participate. And she didn't want to, and then did that. That was upsetting.
So, are you looking forward to this reunion?
Could be a train wreck. I don't know if I can sing.
Really?
No. I haven't been singing at all. Man, now that you mention it, I don't know.
You'll be fine.
Can I back out?
With Janet's hesitant yes, we have ourselves a reunion. But will these girls be able to leave the past alone and pull it together for one last concert? When Bands Reunited returns, the Vixens confront each other for the first time in over a decade.
The first thing I remember hearing is we want to bring in another guitar player on our next record. Do you remember any of this?
Stay put. We're back for the last part of our quest to reform Vixen. And it's reunion day for these special rockettes. So we're hoping that they can put their past behind them and get it together for a cracking concert. Come on, girls.
Hello.
So?
Wow.
Whoa, you're ready to go, and I need to ask you a couple of questions. I love it. That's great. You're really enthusiastic, I take it.
This will go down as one of my most favorite and most exciting moments. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. I haven't played with Cher in the longest time, so I'm really looking forward to getting on stage and playing with Cher. I'm more nervous about, playing the songs together after all this time.
So, how do you feel?
I'm nervous for the concert. I mean, normally I would take a couple months to prepare, Today, I would really like this to be more than get together and make nice for the cameras. I really would. I would like to walk away feeling really good about everybody. Hi.
You got some wild hair, girl.
How are you?
I'm good.
Are you weirded out?
Yeah.
I'm totally weirded out.
Yeah.
The queen of the double kick drum.
there.
How are you? What have you been thinking about?
Rock, ready to play, rock again with the original members. Give me my sticks, give me my drums, I'm ready to go. That's how I feel.
Oh, here. I remember it was or was it in New York?
No way! Gladys! Oh, I love your hair.
Hey!
You don't hate me, I know.
I'm here.
How are you, Cher?
I'm good. How are you?
So, how do you feel?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Basically, I view being in a band kind of like being married, and I'm married to Bubble, and now I'm going back and I'm this old boyfriend named Vixen.
Hello! You got us all here. Now that's a major accomplishment.
Really?
Oh yeah, if you had told me that we would all be sitting in the same room like this, I'd say you're out of your mind.
What was it like being an all-female band in essentially a male-dominated industry? What was that like in terms of what you had to overcome and deal with?
Go ahead, anybody.
I do remember record companies being very, very hesitant. Oh, people aren't ready for, a hard rock female band.
Yeah.
At the beginning of every tour, the guys in the other band and the crew, remember, at the side of the curtain to see if we actually played our instruments. And it just became like standard. We go, oh, there they are.
Yeah.
Seeing it
Or
for
by the
real.
soundboard.
They just couldn't believe it.
What was it like when you got your record deal?
Like I remember meeting at Left Bank and we were all super excited and they're like, yeah, whatever, this is nothing.
They were putting a damper on it, kind of
Yeah,
like,
they
well,
did.
now the real
Oh,
work's
yeah.
going to begin,
We knew, now we have the opportunity, but yeah, we knew there was a lot that had to be done before then. And we knew there was a chance that it would come out and do nothing, so.
As your career progressed, did you guys share the vision for the band, or did things start to fray a little bit?
Well, when we first went in to record the first record, that was kind of a very unifying experience, and things also got weird. The more people you involve, the harder it
We
is.
didn't have one producer for the album. We had, what, four?
Yeah.
Hello?
So,
that's weird.
Whereas before then, it was just the four of us, and we could easily agree on things, and things were easier, so it got harder in a way.
things started to become problematic when there was an actual divide, right? When there was like the two of you and the two of you. What spawned that?
What did cause that?
Good question.
Well, we were just on the road so long. and
Songwriting
just
issues.
That,
Yeah, I think it was songwriting.
You guys went off and did your thing, and then her and I went off and did ours. And then we put it together. It's like, oh, we're not headed in the same direction here.
Well, I mean, that is ultimately what a band is about, is their songwriting. And we didn't sit down and go, okay, what's the sound of this album going to sound like as a
We
band?
didn't
We
do
never
that.
sat down and did that. So then we got together, and it was just like all this tension. You got to play us your songs, and we'd play you our songs. And it was just like this.
It just-
that you could hear a pin drop.
Major
And it was
squeaks.
awful.
The other subject I wanted to talk about was the different musical direction that you guys wanted to go into with another guitar player. Take us back there if you can in terms of what happened at that meeting.
The first thing I remember hearing is we want to bring in another guitar player on our next record. And I'm like, what? Huh? What? What do you mean? And I remember saying, well, yeah, if I can't play something, I want a shot at it. Do you remember any of this? No. Remember they going down?
It's coming back.
Yeah. Do you remember all that?
Yes, now I do.
Boy, I can remember how we're sitting in the booth. I had like
Oh.
a little cup of soup.
Oh, God.
You guys wouldn't eat.
Oh, I'm sure we were all
What you should have did is jumped across the table and punched her out. That would have been rock and roll. That probably would have solved it. We would have said,
Yeah.
that's a song.
So, yeah, that meeting at that restaurant just, didn't resolve anything.
But what was the objective? Was it to add a member or to replace Jan as the guitar player?
It was always to add a guitar player. We never even discussed, anything but that. So that's.
But I guess I didn't probably see it like that,
No, I'm sure that it was not, I can imagine how you felt.
Yeah.
But, we tried to be sure that you knew that wasn't what it was, that it was just we wanted something, some fresh blood, fresh writing.
Meaning that if you brought somebody else in, then what would you need me for?
We were just too diplomatic and too pussyfooting around all the time.
Didn't say.
Or maybe you weren't diplomatic enough that you were hearing one thing and you guys were saying
well,
another
it's
thing,
like we
right?
had come to this conclusion, but we didn't give any of the reasons why we had come to a conclusion at all. We just said, here's the end result.
How did you feel, Jan? And I single you out only because you had seen Vixen from the very beginning and now you're at the very end of it.
Oh, wow. A lot of mixed feelings, very sad. Still kind of hurt about, the whole guitar player thing and just, it was...
It didn't really sink in for a week or two.
It was very heartbreaking.
And then it was done. It was a done deal.
Learn and live. Everybody's got their story, don't they?
Enough talk, now it's time to rock.
This is weird. There probably are more unresolved issues, which I think there will always be, and there always are in bands. Did anybody else think that was too fast?
Oh, yeah.
I've been playing it right with the CD.
Yeah, this is the usual. We've been here before.
It never really got resolved. And still, we're still guarded about that. And you can tell when we talk about it, it's still kind of like not a good subject.
It was a little bit tough to talk about, some of the differences and the breaking up of the band. It actually felt kind of good to get it all out in the open.
I felt sad for how things went down at the end. Is there a great way to break up a band? I don't know. I've never heard of one.
What was that?
Well, that was interesting.
Running. Come on, y'all. Let's get Tonight, the classic lineup of Vixen will perform for the first time in over a decade. These women are ready to rock the house.
everything everybody's bringing back to this reunion is really, really good. I think it's making it better than it was.
The first time I'm going to see them live after all this time. I got all 80s up.
The main thing for me was that I hope the show is like a great send-off for Vixen, because I do feel like we never got the credit we deserved.
There would be no hole. There would be no Lansmore set. There would be none of that if it wasn't for Vixen.
Excitement is not the word. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. I just want to do it.
Our mission was to find the members of Vixen wherever they may be and reunite them for a one-time only special performance. We're almost there. Let's go inside and check out the show. Tonight, Vixen is a...
1, 2, 3, 4, Vixen, 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 Vixen!
Are you ready to rock? Please welcome Vixen!
I can't believe I could have been so blind, but love is strange. I thought about it for a long, long time, but the truth remains. I don't need another lonely night to dry my tears. The answer's plain as black and white, and I can see the picture very clear. I've been living on the edge of a broken heart. I don't wanna fight, I don't wanna cry. I've been living on the edge of a broken heart. Don't you want to hide? I gotta say goodbye. It isn't like you never had the chance to change your tune. Did you think that I'ma die my dance, but the dance is through? And I've been doing things your way too long. Oh baby, that's over. Baby, that's over. Won't be easy, but I gotta be strong. And if I wanna cry, I need your shoulder. I've been living on the edge of a broken heart. I don't wanna fall, I don't wanna cry. I've been living on the edge of a broken heart. Don't you wonder why? I gotta say goodbye. I've been living on the edge of a broken heart.
They just blew me away. I mean, they can really play. I was just totally amazed.
Dan rocked, Roxy rocked. It was like unfreaking believable. It was so great.
They did a great job, fantastic. The ladies are awesome on stage.
My favorite moment was when we first walked out on stage. Seeing the fans, seeing Jan, Janet, and Cher sitting down, clicking off the song. That was it. It's like, yeah, we're back.
Blending with the hope of the innocent, ready on tomorrow. We were gonna send.
I'm really glad that I did it because if it never happens again, it ended on a fabulous note.
No one's in your corner.
I think the show gave us some closure. It just sort of gave us a nice unified feeling.
'Cause once we had the wheel, can't be denied. Give it all you got. Ready up, ready up. Every fighter takes a fall.
These last 3 days doing this show has been one of the most amazing experiences my whole career life even. It was just it's been wonderful. I think maybe we're better friends from this.